Welcome to this week's edition of the Sports Scoop Coaches Show.
Who is that masked man?
Joining me and back is Theodore Hammond.
No, I get it right.
Ted, before we even start, you got to give us a little state bowling report.
No, I'm going to tell you who I am first.
Okay.
I'm Teddy Bulldog Blue Jay. Okay. You get that?
Got it.
Teddy BJ. And I'm ready here for postseason play. And I got this thing a long time ago, and you never guess what this is. It's a fan. Okay? And on the back side it says, I'm a true Blue Jay fan. Now you got to accent it one way or the other. I'm a true Blue Jay fan, or I'm a true Blue Jay fan. Do you get it?
Either way works.
Either way works. And I came up with this almost by myself.
All right.
So it is a fan. See?
Yeah.
It's
The
fan
only fan you ever had.
yeah, probably. Okay, bowling report. Bowled lousy on Saturday and bowled great on Sunday. Other than that, that's the bowling report. Should win some money on that Sunday one for the team.
Good.
Got a good team, Thrivent Financial, not trying to advertise or anything, but Dan Jensen, he's a retiree out there, and you got Diane Beckman, and you got a great group of people in there. And so you guys are trying to remember how you pronounce the last name. Jay, I'm sorry, but that last name is Kosoyak or something like that. Sapkoyak, whatever you call it. But she's a neat lady, too, and she's got her license. So you people out there need insurance, Thrivent, we got a great bowling team, too. Okay, let's go.
And we did manage to pull in from
Yeah.
Joel Hayford made a guest appearance.
I turned in last week's show just to see how you guys did.
All the ratings were out of this world.
He is a good-looking guy. I'm telling you. You know, the woman out there, our audience must have really increased last week. Double.
Sometimes I worry about you, Teddy.
Okay. No, I didn't say he's good-looking for me. I just said he's a good-looking guy, okay?
Well, let's get into boys basketball, Teddy. And in a season that you didn't have a lot of big highlights for, you had two down the stretch. We talked a little last week. I wish you would have been here to talk about that Nicollet win where you scored 60-plus points in the second half, and then you took top-seeded St. Clair right to the wire.
Yeah, we started putting together the Bell playing game when they had that Narveson kid, and we had them right down about 4 minutes to go, and all we wanted to be is in the ball game with 4 minutes to go, and we scared them, and then all of a sudden we started playing, hey, we finally adapted to losing two of our top seven. And then we played Maple River really tough for about a half and 4 minutes into the second half. And, they're a pretty good team.
Yes, they are.
So then I said, going in the tournament play, everybody's 0-0, and away we go. Well, we played probably the first half of the Nicollet game was our worst half all season. So we're down 46-23. And then we went down halftime, and I was going to rant and rave, and I just kind of looked at the seniors and said, this is the way you want to go out. And we only have 3 seniors, so, they got to put it up.
I was going to say, whatever you said at halftime, you better bottle that, and you can sell it in your retirement years.
I told some people I took a chair and threw it through the office window and stuff like that. But no, that wasn't going to get any response. I knew the guys. So I just put on the board 46-23 and just said, okay, we scored 23 and they scored 46, and there's no reason that can't be reversed in the second half. We go into overtime, we're at home, we win. Well, then we went nuts. I mean, we had it tied up with 10 minutes to go in the second half. And that's in 3 minutes, you outscored them by 23 points. And it just went nuts from there. We kept full court press on. They couldn't get the ball in bounds half the time. And if they did, we stole it and put it in for a layup. And then we started hitting threes, and I've never had a team ever do that ever in all my coaching career, 61 points and a half. And then to be that far behind is another, an unbelievable comeback. So we ended up winning 84 to 69. So after the game, they celebrated on the court with their folks and the fans. I brought them down to the locker room, and I just got real stern, and I said, hey, we were supposed to reverse the score and go into overtime. I said, we weren't supposed to win by 15 in regulation. I said, next time, will you guys listen? And then, my style, but it was phenomenal. So we rode that high right into the St. Clair game. And I told them, we got nothing to lose. They're number 1 seed. They're supposed to walk all over us, have their subs in there in the first half, and get ready for the next game. And it was 3 points at halftime, and ended up 3 points. It was fun. Those juniors came around, seniors just stepped up the plate, and then I brought up the sophomore. Actually 2 sophomores, but Sam Eustace, the double deuces, we call them deuces. So Sam comes in and gets a double-double, and he's only a sophomore, and he's going to be reckoned with. And we had to go against the big Weber kid, not Weber, Weber, Olson and Weber get mixed up. But Weber's 6'5" and about 220. He's probably going to win the state and shot and disc again this year. And this poor Sam has got to go up against him, a guy named Andrew. Andrew King has to go up against them, and they're maybe outweighed by 60, 70 pounds, and they just did a great job against them. And it came right down the end, and they hit some free throws. This Goebel had 33. He was a difference in the ball game, and he's one of the better players in this end of the state. So we had nothing to hang our heads about except, I said, geez, you guys really played well, and yeah, but we still lost, and we ended up in the postseason 1-1. I'd like to have gone, at least 2-1, 3-1, but we gave them a scare.
Well, you finished only 5-21, Teddy, compared to 13-15 the previous year.
Yep.
But as you mentioned, very young squad, and if they put in the work in the off season, things could really be on the upswing.
Yeah, I could show you our shooting stats, and that was definitely a key to our season. We didn't shoot real well all season, and as a result, you're playing from behind a lot of the times.
Yep.
But I told the kids, you paid your dues this year, next year you collect your dividends. So a good nucleus coming. If they hit the weight room, Joey Joyce is really doing a great job with the weight room. And if they buy into that, I think that we'll see a significant improvement there. But most games this year, we were outsized. We always had the Olsen and the Webbers and the Narvisons, and kids are 6'5", 6'6", and we don't have anybody to match up with that. So we need to get stronger. We're not probably going to get bigger, but we can get stronger.
NRHEG, the other team that is done for the year, Pat Churchill's crew, they defeated Blue Earth in the first round, and then they ran into the old nemesis, WEM, lost 64-47 in the subsection semis. The Panthers finished 17-10, and also not as good as the previous 23-5, but Pat's put together 3 or 4 very good years down there in NRHEG, and of course, next year they'll have Oakley Baker back, and that's a pretty good place to start building things around.
Now, I didn't see, did Raymond play in that game with Waterville?
Yes.
Okay. So he was a non-factor, basically?
Even though it was pronounced Rammon.
Oh, okay. I just meant Raymond.
I got a text from Grant at the early phases of the game. He said, evidently that Waterville announcer, Marty Gallagher, didn't put a lot of pregame work into pronunciations, because he had Rammon and he had Prig instead of Priggy. But he did play, yes.
Was it Grant or Dewey that called?
Well, in my eyes, Grant, but in your eyes, it would have been Dewey.
Dewey, okay.
WEM, Jeff Wagner's crew, boy, 16 straight wins. What a time to put that together. They're 25-3 this season. They defeated Lake Crystal 75-36 in the first round, and then, as we mentioned, knocked off NRHEG. Monday night, wow, Maple River and WEM for the subsection title. Maple River won the first meeting by 13 points. WEM won the second meeting by 8 points.
So the rubber game.
The rubber game,
right.
And it moves the winner to within 1 game of state.
Rubber ball, keep bouncing back to me. I get the music out of the way.
I
Rubber
didn't
ball.
sing till the end.
Oh, okay. I'll hold off.
Right. And the Waseca Blue Jays are also still alive. Todd Dufall's crew, 19-9 for the year. They defeated Hutchinson in the opening round, 82-50. And then last night, boy, I was impressed with the Jays. They had a plan. Mr. Coffey got the ball down low. There was 3 people around him. Outside, they kept the pressure, made him take tough shots. The Jays defeated East 74-49. Tree.
Yeah, 4 threes here. Okay, what's the nickname for a 3 in a deck of cards? You got a deuce for the 2s. What's a 3? No.
Trace.
It's a tray. Okay, right. So all the Blue Jays did last night in the first half, they were like a cheap waiter, like a cheap waiter you got in a restaurant. Okay, all they did was drop trays, baby, and they kept dropping trays, and they kept dropping trays, and they kept dropping trays. How many did they have in the first half? Did you see? 8 threes in the first half. Yep. Jeez, that was just fun to watch. That was.
Yeah, very, very excellent game plan last night. Don and I, we always talk before the game, and I think both of us probably thought they might lose. Just that it would be very tough. Well, we played very well against them the first time.
And that Coffey's in foul trouble.
Yeah, and escaped with a 4-point win. But they completely dominated the game, won by 25 in one of their most impressive performances of the year.
Yeah, does Willingham play like a freshman?
He didn't last night, did he?
He comes in and drains a 3 right off the get-go, and then he was loving going tripling on that Coffey. Geez, whenever he got the ball in the first half there, he was double, triple teamed, and he had to get rid of it. Then he tried to force it, and then it was over with.
So all the Jays have to do now to get to state is, and it's funny. Basketball's a funny game. The Jays play a class down the last 2 years and don't get any place. Now they move up a class and get to the section finals.
I can give you that in tennis. In the old days, when the girls' tennis team, they only had 2 classes. In Class A, we always go through Lourdes or Winona Cotter. Moved up in a double A, went to state like 6 years in a row. It worked out well. It's gonna work out for the Jays too.
Thursday night at Gustavus, Marshall versus Waseca. They did play toward the end of the regular season. Marshall ended up winning by 16, but the Jays did come all the way back and had it to 5 points with about 5 minutes left. Marshall is excellent. Mm-hmm. They shoot inside, they shoot outside, and I think their defense is even the most impressive part of their game.
Well, they held Faribault to 9 points.
9 points in the first half.
Unbelievable.
So Thursday night, Marshall and Waseca. Monday night, WEM and Maple River. Mm-hmm. Couple of great local teams still alive. Fun to watch. Get out and see them. Girls basketball. JWP is the only team that's done.
Yep. Well, they got 1 win.
The Bulldogs defeated Alden in the first round. Then they ran into Loyola last night.
Oh, man.
74-35.
They said that Theonic almost had a quadruple double last night. Jeez.
The Bulldogs, who were 13-14 a year ago, end up 9-19 this season.
Mm-hmm. New coach, yeah.
Okay.
I like her. She's a New Ulm Cathedral grad, and she had a lot of success there in sports, and so I think that'll carry over.
NRHEG, the Panthers, the second seed in their subsection, are 21-6 for the year. They defeated St. James 64-41. Thursday night, they will battle Blue Earth, and I think their subsection is at Mankato East.
I think you're right.
WEM. Hey, Teddy, here's a stat. The Lady Bucks have won 20 straight. The men have won 16 straight. 36 straight wins on the court for Waterville teams this winter. Well, I don't think that gets boring. Never got boring to me. The Gabe Howers crew, 24-3. They're the top seed in the subsection. They crushed Lake Crystal 62-28 yesterday. They will play Fairmont on Thursday night.
They're the favorites there, too.
In the Waseca Blue Jays, 14-12 overall. They closed out the regular season with a 59-52 win over Jordan. Now, I got to get my gripe out of the way, and I know Joni will like it, but the section that Waseca's in might be the craziest job of seeding I have ever seen in my life.
That's something.
Worthington, 14-10, they're the last seed. But Mankato East and West, who have both won 8, 9, 10 games, are the 3rd and 4th seed.
Figure it out.
Faribault, 13-13, they're the 2 seed. The almighty Big Nine sticks together, seeds them high, and here's my question if I ever went to one of those seeding meetings.
They don't have them anymore.
I know, but if they did, I would say, you think your conference is the premier conference in Minnesota, how come we never see any Big Nine teams at state?
Or rated.
Very seldom.
Or rated, yeah.
Yeah.
In the old days you did with West and East, but not anymore.
Oh. So the Jays get the 6th seed at 14-12. They will play at Mankato East on Wednesday night in the opening round. Those two teams played at the end of the regular season. East won by 8 points. Mm-hmm. It's a game. I talked to Joni, and Joni said, the fun part this year is you can beat anybody and you can get beat by anybody in our section, which is true because Marshall is the top seed and you'd think the overwhelming favored. Noam lost to them by 1 point at the end of the regular season.
Well, what did the Jays lose to them by?
They ended up by 9.
Yeah.
So but it was closer than
Marshall's
that
not that dominant team they have been in the past.
And I think as a coach, that's what you want at tournament time. If you play well, you have a chance of winning. Mm-hmm. You don't want that team that would just have no chance.
See, seedings for me in the old days, I didn't put any stock in the seedings because, like you said, a coach can screw you over if they seed you. And now you just go online. They just say send your top 10 seed or 9 seeds if you have 10 teams in the subsection. And I seeded Mountain Lake 8th. They had 16 wins. And I seeded them 8th because I know how tough the Valley Conference is versus the conference they play in. And I proved it right. They lost in the first round. And last year they were mad because I seeded them low, and I'm not ever going to seed them high because they just play a weaker schedule than we do. And they came in our place last year, and they're going to show us, and then we took them down real easily last year. So, the records can be deceiving. Depending on what
they can be, but my thought is, if you're within a game or two or three of another team, then you look at the strength of the conference, because it's not Waseca's fault that the Big South isn't as tough as the Big Nine.
Yeah.
You can't do anything about the conference you're in, but when there's a difference of 6 games, that just is a little too much to.
Obviously, hard for you to digest.
It is very hard. Right. Well, let's move on to wrestling, Teddy. Got my gripe out of the way.
Yes, you did.
You said I'm always good for one a week. So
you have to get the defibrillator out.
The wrestling team had 5 individuals in the area get the state. First for NRHEG, New Richland, Cordell Peterson made it at 126. He lost his first match, and his man got beat, so he was done.
Yep.
Wyatt Fitterer at 285 got a second place in the state. He lost the championship last night 2-0.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was sad.
The Blue Jays had 3 wrestlers make it to state. Bo Milbreth, freshman at 152, won his first match, and then he lost 2 close ones, so he did not place. Justin Sampson at 113 finished 3rd in the state, as did Dylan Winiger at 220. So 3 of the 5 area wrestlers had very nice finishes at the state tourney.
And Bo was a freshman.
And
Sampson, is he a sophomore?
I think a sophomore.
Okay, so things look well for the future.
Yep, you bet. So nice job by the wrestlers at state tournament. That's quite an atmosphere. If you've never been there and you like wrestling, boy, that's a place to be. There's probably 16 mats going at once.
Yeah, it's
just
chaos.
Unbelievable.
Chaos.
Well, moving on to the college scene, Teddy, and I just want you to know ahead of time, my synopsis isn't quite as detailed because...
Your what?
My synopsis,
okay.
You like.
Did you get that, Andy, synopsis?
S-N-O-P.
S-Y-N, Andy.
Okay, get your synopsis.
It's not quite as detailed because I had to do it on my return from St. Peter last night at 10:30 at night.
In the car?
Started.
Oh, my God.
So
you are dedicated.
The men's basketball team, the Mavericks, now they got to sit around and wait for a week. They're 21-9. They won the conference opener against Bemidji State, and then yesterday lost to Mary 96-91 in overtime. And I think they have to wait all the way till next Sunday to see if they make it into the region. At the last rankings, they were 5th, and the top 8 get in. But
well, with Mary, I was looking for Joseph, and I didn't see Joseph. But
no help from Joe?
No help from Joseph. But they said that Pendleton had a really good game against Mary, but they went a couple scoring droughts. Said it kind of cost them the game, but they also said that Mary shot 64% from the field the first half. And then only down, what, 6? Yeah, so that's really good. Yep. But you can't have scoring droughts when you get into tournament play. No.
Women's hockey's done. Women's basketball's done. The men's hockey team, they won Friday night up in Alaska, Anchorage, 3-0. They played again late last night. Didn't see that yet.
Andy got it?
No.
Ziggy doesn't have it? Okay.
Well, anyway, they are hanging on to first place. I think they had a 2-point lead for first place, and they play Friday and Saturday. Bemidji State comes to town. So
the Beavers
will be here.
Yep.
The baseball and softball teams at MSU, the baseball team is 3-0. The softball team is 4-4. Both of them head to Florida at the end of this week.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Oh, goodness gracious. The Gusties, I don't think they have anyone left. The women's basketball was the only one playing, and they lost to St. Mary's in the second round of the conference tourney. They finished their year 20-7. Nice season.
You need to name Mary, apparently, in your name to win last week. Yeah.
The softball team at Gustavus starts today. They play 2 games over at the Rochester Bubble or whatever it is.
You know who the coach is at Gustavus? Jeff
Oh,
Annis.
yeah, Jeff. Yeah, that's right. Yep.
He's the AD at Maple River for you people out there, and he's a darn good coach.
Very good softball coach.
Yep.
And the baseball team, the Gusties, start really late. They don't start till March 19th.
Down south?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Gophers, Teddy, always your favorite topic.
Hey.
The men's basketball team won their second Big Ten game in a row, Teddy.
Yep.
Crushed Rutgers. They're 8-19. Today they'll play at Illinois.
They're peaking at the right time.
Yeah, and they have Rutgers coming up again, so they got a chance to win 4 in a row.
That's right.
The women's basketball team, that was fun. 19-9 they are. They defeated Ohio State, ranked 5th in the country, in overtime. Miss Carly Wagner hit the game winner in overtime after Bantam had fouled out. Carly drove to the left baseline. I saw that replay. The hand was right in her face. She elevated, got over, knocked it down, giving the Gophers a win. She had 26 in the game, only to be overshadowed by Bantam's 35. But I think that's the win that probably will get them into the tournament. They have 19 wins. They close out today at Maryland, and chances are they aren't going to win that. But you would think they would get a win or two in the Big Ten tourney, and that should put them in.
Well, they always said 20 wins in the old days, but now that's kind of going by the wayside. Depends on your strength of schedule. But we have them coming home from bowling. Have you ever been to Harry's Restaurant by Burnsville? There's the guy's got a all airplane decor. If you turn off to go to it's in Lakeville. The Lakeville Theater, that great big multi-cinema complex. Okay. Right there as you come in, there's a restaurant on the side there. It's called Harry's, and it's unbelievable. And folks out there, you got to go to it once. But everything is like a B-52 hamburger. It's like a pound of hamburger and something, and about 5 people have to eat it. But it's a great place. We're sitting there.
Only Teddy would be able to find this place. He can find them all.
No, the bowling team found it. We coming home one night.
Of which you're a member.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
But I'd never been to the place. They'd stopped there before. And anyhow, the place has got these big screen TVs all over the place, and they got the Gophers against Michigan State, and Bantam's going off for about 40, whatever she had that day. It was unbelievable. Yeah. It was fun to watch her. Yeah. Especially big screen.
The Gopher men's hockey team, they split with Michigan over the weekend, lost 6-2, won 3-2 in overtime. I believe that protected their 1-point lead in the conference. I think Michigan's right behind them. And after Michigan won Thursday night, that put them in first, and the Gophers came back Friday to put them back in first. So
you follow that pretty well.
Well, although my report's not as detailed today.
Okay, but
just so you
I'm
know.
Impressed.
The women's hockey team, Teddy.
Yes.
31-3-1.
Yeah, they stink.
Swept Ohio State. They're in the conference semifinals, of which they host at Ritter Arena this weekend coming up. So if you like women's hockey and get up close and see some good semifinal and final action.
Did you watch the state girls hockey tournament?
I saw parts of it.
There was checking going on in there.
Yes.
Like, they're not supposed to check. Holy mackerel. They're going to have to do something.
Yep.
I mean, these girls are taking out girls and pretty well.
The Gopher baseball team, 4-2. They're in North Carolina this weekend. They lost to Campbell Friday. They defeated them yesterday 3-1. I believe they play them again today. And then next week they head to Atlanta.
Where's Campbell?
North Carolina.
Okay. Sounds like, is that where they make soup or what?
I don't know.
Okay.
The softball team, 9-4 start. They were in Arizona. They went 4-0 out there this week. I think they play again today. And next week they head to Georgia.
Jeez. It must be nice.
And the wrestling, the Gopher wrestlers finished 10-8. They will be at the Big Ten tourney at Iowa this coming weekend.
I've been following some of these high signees, and they don't go to Minnesota anymore. No. They're going to Penn State. Yep. They're going to the powerhouses, Iowa.
That is a very good wrestling conference. Yes, you just don't beat anybody very badly.
Nope.
We should briefly talk about the state girls hockey tournament.
Okay.
As you mentioned, for a no-checking sport, there seems to be quite a bit of checking now. Let's see. We had Breck win the small schools.
And isn't Nick Rathman, the AD there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice job, Nick.
Yep. Okay. And I don't remember who won the big schools.
Eden Prairie and Maple Grove.
Maple Grove won, I believe.
When Maple Grove was down 2.
Eden Prairie won in overtime.
Yeah, but it was Eden Prairie's up by 2 going in the third period. Maple Grove did bam, tied it right up, and then went in overtime. But sad in overtime it ended up with a power play with 2-man advantage or 2-girl advantage. Yep. And I was kind of sorry to see it end that way because there's no way 5-on-3 and boom is over with.
And the state boys starts this week now, Wednesday or Thursday, depending which class you're in. Eden Prairie is the top seed in the AA, and Hermantown is the top seed in A. And Hermantown has been in the state championship game 6 years in a row. They've lost every one.
It's kind of like
of a sentimental favorite, wouldn't you think?
Sounds like the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl for you.
Gosh.
But you see who made it from this area?
West.
Yeah, Mankato West
knocked off Northfield in an upset. Yep.
Well, that was those, you can't beat a team 3 times in a year.
Yep.
Northfield beat them twice during the season, and then West goes to state. Figure it out.
The Minnesota Timberwolves had a 2-1 week, Teddy, a winning week, including a 112-110 win over New Orleans.
Hey, it's not how you start, it's how you finish, baby.
19 wins for the year. 15 last year? All of last year? 19 already. Today they have the Dallas Mavs coming to town.
One of those back-to-backers. See how they do.
Yep. Okay. The Minnesota Wild, up and down we go with the Wild. 27, 25, and 10. They won 4 straight under their new coach. Now they've lost 3 straight under their new coach.
Yeah, these people are saying, geez, look, why did they fire him earlier? And I said, give him a chance, okay? And,
2 of the losses were 3-2, and then the Islanders beat them again 4-1, I think. So been a tough week for the Wild. They play Florida Panthers at home today.
Oh, look out. All right.
And the Minnesota Twins. Practice has officially started, and it was fun because I see they had Rod Carew and Torrey Hunter both in camp yesterday working with players. And boy, what a...
Had big shirts with a heart on it when he walked in the locker room and Carew came in. And I didn't know he had to have a new heart.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. You don't just find those.
No.
I mean,
no. Give me one and you one now. Okay, we'll ship it right in.
I hope he gets one.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
But they said he should have died. He should not be around right now.
Yeah. But what a great inspiration for those young guys to have a couple guys like that in helping out.
He said he'd like to teach them a little drag bunting, but he might have to wait a while on that.
Yep.
But the old heart might give out.
The Twins open their exhibition season, I believe, Wednesday already against Boston. And the regular season opener still a month away, April 4th, against the Baltimore Orioles.
Is it just me, or is it like every year they play Boston like every other game in spring training? I don't know why that is, but...
Well, are they close?
They must be.
I think they're close down there, so they...
Well, there's Hammond Stadium, okay, and that's really the only stadium you need to go to.
That's right.
Down there.
Can't be any better than that.
Yeah.
Anything else you got, Teddy?
Peace. Let's see, what do we got for anything coming up?
Golfing.
Golfing, when the weather keeps going like this, we should be just fine. We'll be out there in the
Gotta tell you, I don't know if you heard, Creeks Bend in New Prague opened yesterday.
Are you serious?
And you could drive carts.
Oh, my God.
Don told me he went online just to check.
Seriously?
He said there was 2 tee times open for the entire day.
Holy mackerel.
People were just flocking out.
Well, there were 60s in southwestern Minnesota yesterday.
And especially if you could drive carts, my goodness.
Well, the frost isn't on the ground, so I don't know. Jeez. Go golf!
So he said they had 2 tee times open between 3 and 4, and that was it.
Unreal.
Completely full.
Speaking of that, the number 1 player there for a long time, Rory McIlroy, he had a comment the other day for the press. Did you see that?
Yeah.
No. Apparently he was supposed to ask any questions after his round when he didn't make the final cut.
Struggling.
It's such a funny game.
Yeah.
And it's such a head game.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Adam Scott had a quadruple bogey yesterday.
Yes.
He's still tied for the lead.
I see he was really moving out, and then all of a sudden he has that baby.
He said, I had 1 bad hole. I played really well. So
a little hiccup.
Yeah.
Big hiccup. But golfers out there, get your clubs out and get them polished up and get ready to go, because we might have an early spring. You never know.
Fun. That'd be fun.
When do we turn up back our clocks for daylight savings? Anybody know? Andy, you know?
I don't know.
It's soon.
Because they moved it up.
Soon,
I thought it was this morning, and all of a sudden I got up and, oh my God, if you turn your clocks back, there's spring ahead and fall back. Yeah. Okay. So if you spring ahead and forget to do it, are you late or early for church?
If you spring it ahead and you don't do it,
you'd be late.
You sure?
You'd be way early.
See, you say late. I used to do it in class all the time.
If it's 7 o'clock.
I screw my kids up. Half the class say, no, you're late. No, you're early. No, you're late.
If it's 7 o'clock, you're supposed to turn it ahead to 8 o'clock, so it'd only be 7 o'clock. You'd still have an hour to get to church.
Yeah, hour late.
No,
okay, folks, on that note, ponder over it out there, and then next week we'll get back to you on it.
That will do it for this week's show. Thanks to Ted Theodore Hammond,
Mr. Trey,
Mr. Trey,
Mr. Blue Jay, or True. Thanks to Hudson and Andy for producing the show. And thanks to you all for watching.
Fight, you Blue Jays. Come on and cheer Waseca High.